#1 News, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
On this hour of Eyewitness News, friends and family of a Chicago police officer are searching for justice 11 years after his death. But they fear the men charged could walk free.
And remembering the life of Pele, the soccer legend passing away after a battle of cancer tonight, the tributes that are pouring in.
Plus, a longtime salon in the suburbs is about to close for good, and the community's response is making Chicago proud.
And later tonight, we're recapping some of the top pop culture moments of 2022.
But first, a new controversial law is set to take effect in Illinois on January 1st, but part of that law has been ruled unconstitutional. The ruling blocks the elimination of cash bail and other pretrial changes in more than 60 Illinois counties.
The question is how long that ruling will stand. Eric Hong shares reaction to the ruling and what steps will be next.
Because that ruling applies only to those counties where the law was challenged, there are concerns tonight that defendants will be treated differently depending on where they live. And so both sides are turning to the state's high court.
This is a big win for the rule of law, and this should be embarrassing to the Illinois General Assembly.
County State's Attorney Patrick Canale heralding the ruling blocking a portion of the Illinois Safety Act that ends the practice of cash bail on January 1st, while allowing judges to detain certain defendants they deem dangerous.
This is a law that undermines public safety.
In his 33-page opinion, Kankakee County Judge Thomas Cunnington citing the need for a separation of powers, saying the appropriateness of bail rests with the authority of the court and may not be determined by legislative fiat. Illinois Attorney General disagrees.
In fact, with the recent amendments to the Safety Act, I think judges' discretion with regards to pretrial detention is expanded.
The judge's ruling applies only to the 60-plus Illinois counties where the law was challenged, including McHenry, DeKalb, Kendall, Grundy, Will, and Kankakee. Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Lake are not impacted by the ruling.
And it could now be that whether or not you are held on a bail or a money bond prior to trial could be determined by your zip code.
The Attorney General appealing to the state's high court. And state's attorneys are headed there, too.
We're going to ask the Illinois Supreme Court to declare the entire act unconstitutional and make it applicable to the entire state.
That judge in Kankakee County rejected the plaintiff's request for an injunction. And so the Attorney General is now arguing that judges in those 60-plus counties still have discretion to comply with the Safety Act and forego cash bail. In the newsroom, Eric Hong, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A police officer is heard while responding to the scene of a shooting. Police say one man was shot in the arm near 87th and State. While responding to the shooting, officers got into a fight with a person who was near the scene of the crime, and that's when police say the officer was hurt. Both the shooting victim and the officer were taken to nearby hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. The person who got into the fight with police was taken into custody.
Crash leads to a shooting in the city's South Loop overnight. Police say a car was speeding before it crashed into a semi near Des Plaines and Taylor. Police say a witness rushed to check on the victims. That's when police say someone fired several rounds at them. The person was not struck by the gunfire.
A violent attack reported on board a CTA train is renewing questions over safety on board the city's trains. Mayor Kawash reports from the scene of the most recent incident near the Monroe Red Line stop.
The latest incident causing some concern for CTA riders. Police telling us charges are pending against 3 men who are accused of attacking another man late last night here on the CTA platform near Monroe and State. Attacks like that are why these CTA riders are asking the city to do more. As the temperatures dropped around Chicago in recent weeks, many CTA riders say the environment on trains has gotten a little uncomfortable.
I have not seen the amount of lawlessness on the CTA at this level in probably about 30 years.
More of that last night as police say an altercation started on the Red Line, which led to the assault of a 26-year-old man on the CTA platform near Monroe and State. Police say 3 men attacked him and hit him with a bottle, sending that victim to the hospital where he was listed in fair condition. Riders want more action from the city to avoid those situations.
More public equity initiatives to make sure that people are getting the resources that they need.
The CTA has tried addressing crime concerns a number of ways throughout the year, specifically adding more security guards on platforms after a string of incidents last summer. It's also become a pivotal part of the upcoming mayoral campaign, with candidates considering different ways to make the CTA safer. Riders are hoping that includes more officers at each station.
I feel generally safe, and I hope that they step up security and everything.
Chicago police data shows the most common time for a crime to happen is in the afternoon between 1 and 7 p.m., with 39% of incidents happening then. 33% of CTA crimes happen after 5 p.m.
It's the things that happen during the day that I'm worried about. It's the fact that I don't feel secure not riding in the first car where the operator is.
The CTA responded to us late this afternoon, issuing a statement saying it's continuing to work on those safety resources, saying it has a full deployment of all of its K-9 teams and more than 300 officers patrolling platforms. From the Loop, Mayor Kawash, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Nicest day we've had all month out there. Look at that beautiful shot down the river tonight.
Yeah, it's in the 50s right now. We hit 60 in some suburbs.
And I haven't felt any of it. I've been inside all day.
You've had a long shift. Here we are.
Okay.
We're slogging along through the night on this Thursday, just a few days away from
like
2023.
20 degrees in the studio.
It was roasting in here earlier. I was pouring sweat. In fact, Liz looked over at me during the 5 or the 4, and she goes, "You're sweating on your lip." It's like, I'm sorry.
Because it's so much warmer outside than it would normally be.
So the heat's kicking in this building, but I know it's cold in the studio, Cheryl. It's not cold outside.
It's not, and today the warmest day this month. We made it to 59 officially at O'Hare. That is just remarkable considering the stretch of cold weather that we've been sitting at, well above average. We're still very mild out there right now, holding on to the 50s before the front slides through later on tonight. You can see the separation from that cold to warm air. We're still in the mild air mass, but that front's going to slide in tonight and bring in some cooler weather for tomorrow. But thankfully, we're dipping back to near average, not below average. Showers off to the south of us and then some snow up to the north of us. We're not looking at a whole lot of moisture tonight, but some passing showers here in the forecast. So as we take a look at Futurecast, we're still in the 50s until midnight here, and you can see that line of rain that's going to set up closer to about 1, 2 in the morning. Chicago stretching back to the south and west, and then this continues to work its way to the east. Waking up early, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Northwest Indiana, you're going to encounter some rain, and that will linger into the mid to late morning. So some batches of rain pushing on through, but northern Illinois, much of the day looking mainly dry. And there you can see our temperature difference. By this time tomorrow will be about 30 degrees colder than our high temp today, but dropping again back to near average. And then the weekend, ending this year into a new year, looking fairly mild, and we'll cover that New Year's Eve forecast coming up.
Cheryl, see you again in a bit. Now to the city's northwest side, another busted water pipe, this time at a catering business on Peterson at Western. John Garcia reports on the many businesses seeing problems with pipes this winter.
They're working frantically to get all the repairs done so business can return to normal at this shopping center. When the pipes burst over the weekend, it briefly shut down several businesses here, including Bulk and Taste Restaurant, during the busy weekend.
So we had like 50 gallons or so on the floor. I had to put a sign like closed because of frozen pipes.
Crews from Restrepo Construction have been swamped with repairs from broken water pipes for the last week or so. The problem here, the water in the pipes froze, causing the pipes to split.
Heater here failed, and we got pipes frozen on both sides of the unit. So to the left and to the right, we had multiple pipes go out.
Water is pouring out of this Northside catering company this morning after yet another broken water pipe. Chicago police and the water department on the scene to clean it up and shut off the water. And this Northside bar, Whiskey Business, now closed for the foreseeable future while they clean up and repair damage from a broken water pipe. Just the latest of a number of businesses affected by frozen pipes, ranging from this vintage record store to the main post office downtown. And in Elgin, Uterra Motors has only been open for a few months, but they're now cleaning up after a pipe burst in a wall in the bathroom, leaving water everywhere.
The cold just got to the pipes, metal building, insulation wasn't the best. We grabbed some squeegees and we pushed it all straight out the door, and I was able to bring a fan and just dry out the best we could.
With the forecast calling for above average temperatures for the next 5 days or so, experts say most of the frozen pipe problems should be behind us, at least for now. In Elgin, John Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Well, it appears residents of a Hyde Park apartment complex won't be back in their home tomorrow as they were told. People living in 2 buildings of the Algonquin apartments lost power on Christmas Eve. In an email obtained by ABC7, an employee of Mac Properties, which manages the complex, says hotel rooms are now booked through Tuesday, January 3rd. And the company points out that under a city ordinance, residents can terminate their leases because they've now been without power and electricity for more than 72 hours.
Friends and family are gathering tonight to remember the life of a Bradley police sergeant killed 1 year ago tonight. The vigil for Sergeant Marlene Ritmenick is set for 9:30 tonight at the Comfort Inn in Bourbonnais. That's where Ritmenick and her partner, Officer Tyler Bailey, were shot while responding to a noise complaint. Bailey's still recovering from his injuries. 8 people been charged in connection with the shooting. Will be at that vigil tonight. Have an update for you at 10.
It's now been 11 years since the murder of a Chicago police officer, Clifton Lewis. Despite several arrests being made in the case, there have been no convictions. And as Michelle Gallardo reports, there's a chance all 3 charged with the officer's murder could soon walk free.
It's been 11 years and still CPD remembers, like they do every year on December the 29th, the anniversary of police officer Clifton Lewis's murder, killed while off duty working a second job as a security officer at an Austin neighborhood convenience store.
This is always a rough day for me. Cliff was more than just another police officer. Cliff was a friend.
Edgardo Colon, Tyrone Clay, and Alexander Villa were all arrested and charged in connection with the murder. But did they do it? 11 years later, all 3 cases are still ongoing. Confessions obtained from the first 2, both of which were recanted, were thrown out, leading to Colon's conviction being overturned in 2020, and Clay not even standing trial yet. Meanwhile, attorneys for Villa, who has been convicted but not yet sentenced, are asking for a new trial.
We now have evidence that shows that they didn't do it.
The evidence, says Villa's attorney, includes a 2012 FBI map that allegedly shows where each of the accused were on the day and time of the murder based on their cell phone activity.
Police believed at the time of this crime that the first person who implicated everyone was about 3 miles away at the exact minute of the crime. The other thing that the map shows that's telling is that these men were never together the entire day. Not one time.
In separate statements today, a spokesperson for CPD referred all questions to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, which in turn would not comment on the cases, citing pending litigation. But in a September court filing, prosecutors said the motion in its tone and tenor is implying the people hid evidence from the defense. This is not true, adding that the FBI's original cell tower mapping report is wrong, saying there is a well-documented mistake in the charting times. But even as the legal battles continue, there is still a family grieving, still a fiancé remembering the man who took a second job to help pay for a wedding that didn't get to happen.
I had told him, I was like, we need to have this huge ceremony because I want to be a queen for a day and you need to be a king for a day.
But even as all 3 cases are proceeding separately for now, Villa's attorney tells us she expects them eventually to join together to call on all charges to be dismissed. In Austin, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Governor J.B. Pritzker's ordered flags around the state to be flown at half-staff next Tuesday to honor a firefighter who died on Christmas Day. Brian Renberg worked in the North Park Fire Department in Winnebago County. He passed away shortly after returning home from his shift on Sunday. He was just 50 years old. The department says he was a loving friend, mentor, and an outstanding firefighter.
Police in Buffalo Grove reveal a turbulent pattern of violence before a murder-suicide that left a mother and her 2 young girls dead. Our news partners at the Daily Herald obtained records that show 14 domestic-related police visits were made to the Kislyak home between 2018 and this September. There were other allegations of domestic violence in the home going back as far as 2002. Investigators say Andrei Kislyak killed his wife, their 2 daughters, and his own mother before killing himself.
Vatican says former Pope Benedict is lucid and stable, but his condition remains serious. Yesterday, officials said the 95-year-old's health had declined in recent hours, and Pope Francis said he was, quote, very ill. Benedict stepped down as Pope in 2013.
Brazilian soccer legend Pele has died.
He was arguably the most famous soccer player in the world. He was born in 1940, grew up poor in poverty in Brazil. He learned to kick a ball around by using a rolled-up sock stuffed with rags. The world got to know Pele first in 1958 when he played in his first World Cup tournament. At just 17 years old, he was just a kid. Brazil won that year, and Pele helped lead the country to 2 more victories.
After retiring, Pele became soccer's most popular ambassador. He died at the age of 82 after a long battle with cancer. His coffin will be placed in the center circle of the stadium where Pele played some of his best matches in Brazil. People will be able to pay their respects there on Monday and Tuesday.
It's hard to understate what incredible influence he had.
Known by just one name.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right. Plenty of tributes pouring in tonight, including posts from one of the stars of this year's World Cup, Lionel Messi. He posted this picture saying, quote, "Rest in peace."
And former President Barack Obama said Pele was one of the greatest to ever play the beautiful game, and as one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, he understood the power of sports to bring people together.
Even NASA posted a tribute on social media, calling him the king of the beautiful game, sharing an image of a spiral galaxy showing the colors of Brazil.
Oh, that's cool.
I remember growing up in the late 70s, and soccer was not, I mean, we all played, a lot of kids played soccer, right? But in America, it's grown so much. But
because of him, probably.
Yeah, right. He was the guy everybody wanted to be like.
And my husband says the same
Yeah,
thing.
he's right. John said he was his first hero,
First hero.
Yeah, because he was so influential and such a positive force in soccer. You wanted to be like him. The bicycle kick, by the way, he was one of the first one to do it.
Invented it, yeah. And I forget how many goals Jim Rose said he had. Over 1,200 goals in 1,300 some games.
And the only guy with three World Cups. Amazing. And like you said, you make a good point. Goes by one name, Pele. Yeah, he'll be missed.
Fashion designer Vivienne Westwood has also passed away. Her fashion house says she died peacefully in South London, surrounded by friends and family. The announcement did not mention a cause of her death. Westwood played a key role in the punk fashion movement. She was 81 years old.
Southwest Airlines says it hopes to restore its full flight schedule by tomorrow, following a week-long meltdown. But despite more flight cancellations today, we're seeing some progress at Midway Airport. We've been out there every day this week. Piles of luggage have been removed from the baggage area. Look at that. And the crowds have diminished at the Southwest Help Desk. But could this have all been avoided?
We seem to only plan for sunny days. And then when we have inclement weather, our systems and our methodologies just don't work.
You know by now, all the flexibility and planning that we put in place to deal with the storm just wasn't enough. And so we've extended flexibility for self-service travel changes through January 2nd.
Southwest has canceled more than 2,000 flights every day this week.
In Cook County, opioids are reported to have killed twice as many people as gun violence just this year. But as we now head into the new year, health professionals and groups are taking some different approaches in their fight against the drug crisis. As ABC7's Sarah Schulte reports, they're hopeful that this strategy will help.
Monroe and Pulaski, the corner they pick, is usually across the street from a West Side drug hotspot. Gayla Richardson and Roger Stiff are outreach workers with the West Side Opioid Task Force. They work the streets almost every day.
We out here trying to save lives because this epidemic is killing people.
Opioids are killing almost twice as many people in Cook County than shootings. So far this year, 1,581 people have died from opioids compared to 811 that were killed in gun-related incidents. Drugs laced with fentanyl are driving the increase in opioid deaths.
We now assume that someone that is consuming heroin is being exposed to fentanyl, whether they intend to be or not.
While it's been a busy year at Cook County Health treating opioid disorders, Dr. Julie Nowinski-Konchak is hopeful next year numbers will go down. She says policy changes, such as safe consumption sites and approaches such as evidence-based treatment, will make a difference.
I've seen persons who use drugs at the table more often, informing policies, informing decisions, and I think that's really important.
People like Richardson and Stiff, both former addicts.
Sometimes we have to tell them our story, because the majority of us that do outreach all have wore the shoes.
The West Side Task Force and doctors say because the path to recovery is windy, the key is meeting people where they are at.
It involves steps in the right direction, and so, encouraging individuals not to use alone, to test a dose before consuming.
Richardson and Stiff give out fentanyl test kits and overdose reversal drugs.
We also offer them different options, methadone, Suboxone. And if you want to go on detox right now, we can get you there.
Because more deaths are caused by opioids than shootings and car accidents combined, doctors and outreach workers say it's time to lift the stigma on drug use and pay more attention to it. At Stroger Hospital, Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Justice Department is suing pharmaceutical distributor AmerisourceBergen, accusing the company of mishandling opioids. According to the DOJ, the company failed to report thousands of suspicious opioid orders from pharmacies across the country. And the Justice Department says in 2 cases, AmerisourceBergen knew the drugs were likely being sold in parking lots for cash.
Mayor Lightfoot's office now confirms the Chicago Public School building will be used as a temporary shelter for migrants who were bused to the city from border states. Wadsworth Elementary on South Ellis will house about 100 migrants. Former Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin says the mayor's decision ignores the local community. He released a statement saying, in part, the mayor's office should have held a series of community meetings to gain community support. I urge the mayor to reverse course and listen to the residents of Woodlawn. Well, the mayor's office replied to that, saying, quote, the city continues to work with the county, state, local leaders, and community-based partners to explore all viable options for temporary shelters.
GoFundMe account for St. Vincent de Paul Church has surpassed $13,000. The goal was $10,000. It was set up yesterday after someone broke into that church in Lincoln Park and stole thousands of dollars from its Christmas weekend collection, close to 10 grand. That money's meant to support those in need in the parish's religious education programs. There have not been any arrests in this case.
A suburban post office will be renamed to honor America's 21st century combat veterans. The Schaumburg Post Office on Schaumburg Road will become the Veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan Memorial Post Office building. That will happen in the new year. Congressman Rajna Krishnamurthy sponsored the bill for the name change, saying it serves as a reminder of the debt of gratitude we owe the heroes of those conflicts.
It's the end of an era for a well-known beauty salon in north suburban Libertyville. On Saturday, it'll close after serving customers for more than 50 years. Evelyn Holmes on this bittersweet goodbye. That's making Chicago proud.
After spending more than 5 decades as a beautician and hairdresser, stylist Nancy Grimaldi has finally decided to put down her shears and hang up her smock.
It's been 53 years, but it seems like yesterday.
On December 31st, Grimaldi's sheer fashion beauty salon located in far northwest suburban Libertyville will close its doors for good. She's retiring as she turns 75.
For me, it's just a satisfaction. It's like I come here to visit and I'm getting paid for it.
Grimaldi followed her mother, who was a hairdressing instructor in Chicago, into the beauty business. After graduating from cosmetology school, Nancy worked in salons in the western suburbs. In 1969, a 21-year-old Grimaldi and her 24-year-old accountant husband Vito moved to Libertyville for his work. Soon after that, Nancy landed a job at Sheer Fashion. The owner eventually asked her to buy the shop, and she did. Grimaldi's clients are heartbroken. She's saying goodbye.
I didn't say anything because I didn't know what to say. I think I cried.
While at a recent village board meeting, the town recognized the Grimaldis for their commitment to the community. Also, Nancy has been known to do hair of customers who were in the hospital and also works with a local funeral home to bring peace to grieving families.
What do you think you're going to miss most about not being here on a daily basis?
The people. Definitely, it's the people.
Nancy takes her final client Saturday afternoon, knowing it will be emotional as she locks up the shop for the last time, ready to start a new chapter in her life.
It's been a good run. And not everybody can say that.
Reporting from far northwest suburban Libertyville, Evelyn Holmes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
But not just the salon, though, that she goes to funeral homes and hospitals and does all of the extra stuff for her clients.
It has impacted so many people. Best of luck to her. Arresting hunger, the suburban police department working to help people who struggle to buy food.
Plus, as people dig out from that massive snowstorm out east, we're hearing incredible stories about how people survived that blizzard. People in Buffalo band together today to dig out from all that snow. They are finally allowed to travel. The driving ban has been lifted now, and power has been restored to all residents in Erie County, New York. There are concerns now about flooding as the temperatures start to warm, but officials said today they believe the flooding, if it happens, will be minimal.
This is an incredible story out of Buffalo. Erica Thomas went into labor during the blizzard, and the heavy snow prevented her from leaving home. She and her husband didn't know what to do. So a friend posted on Facebook, and an experienced doula replied. She and a nurse used a video call to help the couple through labor. Look at that. Mom and baby are doing great, and they hope to meet their helpers in person after the snow melts and they get some better weather.
What are we looking at here? I wish they told us who the baby was. Wow, that's incredible, though. But yeah, some serious concerns there if, in fact, there is really any flooding at all.
Yeah, that's
right,
what Cheryl was talking about, that once it all melts and some of those roofs still have a lot of snow on them, there could be some major flooding. The city looks beautiful tonight, though, here in Chicago. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, guys. Yeah, today, warmest day of December for us. We made it to 59 degrees. Just impressive warmth here. Right now, we still sit at 56. It's a mild night. That is about to change overnight into the day tomorrow. We've been talking about the stats. Today's high near 60, and just last Friday, we had a high of 1 below, but the wind chill was at 30 to 42 below. So today, basically feeling 90 degrees warmer, about 90 degrees warmer than this time last Friday. So remarkable, this swing in temperatures. The warmest day since November 23rd, and the average high 33 degrees. Temps outside, we're still in the mild air mass, but there is a front just up to the north and west. You can see that colder air digging in parts of the northern plains, down in the Four Corners region and the upper Midwest. Now, we're not going to see our temperatures dropping into the teens, even the 20s, but we will drop back to near average, which I just mentioned was 33 degrees. So this front is going to continue to move in tonight, and it's going to pull in some moisture. So we're looking at some scattered rain as we go into our evening. Not a whole lot expected, though. So with satellite and radar, you can see our temperatures still mild as that rain sets in late tonight between about 1 and 2 a.m. from Chicago down on to the south and west parts of Will, Kankakee counties. You'll get in on some rain action, then this will slide off to the east. Northwest Indiana early tomorrow morning, 5, 6, 7 a.m. Some showers coming down. That will linger, that threat, into the late morning, early afternoon, far down towards Rensselaer. And then by the mid to late morning, pulling out of our area, and we're going to find mainly dry conditions and dry weather here in northern Illinois for much of our Friday. However, partly to mostly cloudy skies expected, and temperatures come this time tomorrow, dropping almost 30 degrees because we'll be down in the low 30s, so near average. So our temperatures will start falling overnight with the passage of that front and then continue to drop during the day tomorrow. So a little deceiving. You head out the door, it's in the 40s. Later in the afternoon, evening, it's going to be down to about 32. As we head into Saturday, we start off dry, even some peaks of sun during the late morning and early afternoon before clouds on the increase. We are tracking a little disturbance that will move through very late Saturday night, close to midnight. This will bring some passing rain showers, but temperatures in the mid to upper 30s as we ring in the new year. So a few rain showers here, but not really impacting your plans unless you're outside. It will be some quick hitting showers close to the midnight time frame. Temperature at midnight about 36, 35 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, and temperatures into the entire weekend looking to stay near and above average in terms of our high. So Saturday, a high of 42, early sunshine, some showers late. By Sunday, we dry out, but it will be cloudy, 46 degrees there expected. With the next storm system that moves in, we're going to see some heavy rain. So some passing showers tonight. The next disturbance we just talked about, quick hitting, moves in very late Saturday into early Sunday. Sunday, we are dry. Monday, we start off dry, but here comes that next system. This will bring in very heavy rain late Monday into early Tuesday. Then on the back side, we could quickly see some brief snow showers come Wednesday. Not a big hitting snow system for us, mainly rain. And we are looking at the potential of even some thunder. So for tonight, temperatures dropping. We're in the 40s tomorrow morning, dropping into the 30s by Saturday, 42. Sunday, cloudy, gray, 46. And then that rain threat Monday into Tuesday, turning a bit cooler by Wednesday, Tuesday there, a high of 54. So a mild start, guys, to the new year.
That's all right.
Yeah. Take it.
Thank you.
Because who knows what's coming after that.
Right.
Protecting, serving, and feeding the community.
Some local police officers working to help people in need. The Wheeling Police Department joined forces with Carnicerias Jimenez to host the Arrest Hunger Food Drive. They collected boxes of donations that were loaded onto a delivery truck. All of that food will be used to restock the shelves of the Wheeling Township Food Pantry, helping a lot of folks out.
And students from Downers Grove North High School have arrived in London.
We've been following them from the start. Members of the school's band and choir will be performing in the New Year's Day parade. How about it? In the meantime, the kids and teachers checking out the sights like Buckingham Palace, but the group does not travel light. Watch this. All the luggage and band equipment needed for this performance.
They're saying they should check that pile. There might be a few Southwest bags in there somewhere. Probably made it to London.
So excited for them, and I'm sure we'll keep following them and bring you all the latest from them. From rocket launches and a new Supreme Court justice to war in Ukraine and politics in Washington, we're looking back at the top stories of the year next.
Early in 2022, we saw the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Much later in the year, we saw a historic NASA mission take off, and here's a look back at some of the top national and international stories of the year.
Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the largest invasion of a neighboring country in Europe since World War II.
We are not afraid, ready to defend our country.
Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians on the move.
It's very hard to leave my own country.
The U.S. government assesses that Russia's forces are committing war crimes.
Ukrainian troops taking back ground from the Russians.
We're going to continue to provide military equipment so that Ukraine can defend itself.
Growing fears of a possible recession as inflation hits a near 41-year high.
Everything is going up except our paychecks.
Travel chaos at airports across the country.
I've never seen it this packed.
Passengers left stranded.
A record number of crossings at the southern border, apprehensions topping 2 million for the first time ever.
The deadliest human smuggling case in U.S. history.
Over 60 men, women, and children in that trailer. Temperatures likely topped 150 degrees.
Record-breaking levels of COVID infections across the country.
The highly contagious Omicron variant now accounting for about 98% of new infections.
These are the sickest patients that we've seen in our entire careers.
The CDC authorizing COVID-19 vaccines for children 6 months and older.
The CDC easing COVID-19 restrictions when it comes to quarantining and testing.
Children's hospitals filling up as cases of respiratory viruses spike.
A triple-demic of COVID, the flu, and RSV.
Nobody wants to see their kid in this situation.
There have been more than 600 mass shootings in the U.S. this year, averaging more than one mass shooting a day.
10 people shot dead after a gunman opened fire in a predominantly black neighborhood.
This is an absolute racist hate crime.
Outrage in Uvalde, 19 students and 2 teachers killed.
They get paid to protect, to serve, and they didn't do nothing.
A gunman opening fire on families gathered at Highland Park's 4th of July parade.
It was just carnage and horrific.
7 people were killed, more than 30 others injured. A mass shooting at an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs.
5 people killed, at least 25 wounded.
Where are we supposed to go? How are we supposed to feel safe?
Senators approved the most consequential gun reform in nearly 30 years.
It will save lives.
Don't Say Gay bill that restricts classroom instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity.
It is trying to push LGBTQ individuals back into the closet.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear.
The first black woman to take her seat on the U.S. Supreme Court.
The January 6th Select Committee laying out some of the evidence that it has been collecting for nearly a year.
The Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade that had stood for half a century.
Former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort raided by the FBI.
Allegations that Trump illegally removed documents from the White House.
Millions of Americans are heading to the polls.
Democrats retain control of the Senate. The GOP win in the House.
Wildfire disaster in Colorado. Now the most destructive fire in the state ever.
The global heat wave.
We have never, in recorded history, seen this type of heat.
Too hot.
The McKinney fire raging across Northern California, the largest fire in the state this year. The Washburn fire scorching parts of Yosemite National Park. Firefighters racing to protect the grove of giant sequoias.
A deadly flash flood emergency across the St. Louis area.
The highest 24 hours of rainfall on record.
Catastrophic Kentucky floods,
leaving entire towns underwater.
95% of the people in this area here has lost everything.
Historic rainfall in California's Death Valley.
The water level at Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the country, has dropped to an all-time low.
We're losing water right now 1.5 feet a week.
Hurricane Ian's catastrophic strike on Florida.
Now in the top 10 strongest hurricanes to make landfall in the U.S.
Protests raging across Iran over the suspicious death of Mahsa Amini,
Britain's longest-serving monarch, celebrating 70 years on the throne.
Queen Elizabeth II passing away peacefully at 96.
And the reign of King Charles III has begun.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announcing his resignation.
I want you to know how sad I am.
Liz Truss forced to step down.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected
the third Prime Minister in just 7 weeks.
The U.S. Soccer Federation reached a historic agreement to provide equal pay for its female players.
This is just such a monumental step forward.
The new James Webb Telescope reaching deeper into the universe than ever before.
For the first time, we're seeing brand new stars that were previously completely hidden from our view.
Liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
Man, a lot's happened this year.
Yeah, Artemis finally got off the ground, and next will be another mission, and then hopefully we get humans on there in a couple of years.
Yeah,
pretty
one
incredible.
of the good things that happened this year.
Yeah, there was some rough stuff too. Airlines get ranked based on how often flights arrive on time. The top 5 this year. It's next. Soon you'll start seeing food labels containing sesame warnings. The FDA is adding sesame to its list of major food allergens. Sesame appears in many ingredients, but has not always been listed by name on product labels. The change is the result of a new food safety law.
Chaos at Aldi stores in the United Kingdom today. Fans of YouTubers Logan Paul and KSI took over as their sports drink called Prime went on sale. Wow. Apparently, shoppers started lining up early this morning and quickly emptied out the store's supplies. The drink launched at a different supermarket chain back in October, but this was the first time it went on sale at Aldi.
They were excited.
I guess. What's so good about this drink?
People just love those
just
guys.
YouTubers,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
they like them.
Well, here in the United States, soda sales are down 26%.
There's one brand is seeing growth. Dr. Pepper grew its dollar share by 9% from 2003 to 2021. It's not the largest seller, but does take about 25% of the market behind Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
I wonder why Dr. Pepper? It's
That's a
still
weird
soda.
one. Maybe they're marketing. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Delta is the top airline in the country when it comes to on-time flights. That's according to a year-end report from Cirium, an aviation analytics company. Some 84% of the airline's flights arrived on time. Coming in second place, Alaska Airlines with 81% of the flights on time, followed closely by United, American, and remarkably, Southwest. Those round out the top 5, but we should note here that the data collected only ran through December 15th, so it doesn't include data from all those Southwest cancellations this week.
And before this week, their customers, their customer
base is very loyal.
Right.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
They're satisfied.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because I've heard a lot of people, interviewed over the past few days say, I have all these points with Southwest. I want to stick with them. I just hope they change something.
It's going to take some time for them to fix it. That's for sure.
I'm not sure I'd be brave enough to do it again.
Do you make a New Year's resolution?
Yes. I go back and forth on them. But yes, I made a list of things, but I've heard to stick with resolutions, you're supposed to be very specific about them, and mine are not specific. So I need to find a way to hone them to make them a little more
This is our next segment. Still ahead, making your New Year's resolution stick. The ways to make sure you actually meet your goals. By your response, I'm guessing you didn't meet last year's goals.
You know what? I don't remember.
Exactly.
Plus, it's almost time for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest, and Ryan is sharing what to expect ahead. But first, let's check in with Cheryl.
And feeling a little spring-like out there today. The warmest day so far this month with highs near 60. We're still in the 50s. Changes on the way and some showers that we're tracking. We'll time it out coming up.
Got some fun stories to round out this half hour or hour. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Making New Year's resolutions is a tradition, but a lot of people struggle to stick with them.
That's why one licensed psychologist recommended setting goals instead and being smart about it. So set goals.
SMART goal, I hear this acronym a lot, is a goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound.
Oh, there's an acronym.
There you go. So don't say you want to be more active. She says be specific, like you want to run a marathon.
Okay.
Instead, what about attainable? Right. Instead of saying you want to lose weight, make it a specific number and something that's realistic. And instead of saying you want to be more creative, decide you want to write a book. Wow. And once you set that goal, break it into smaller steps, like a chapter that you can check off as you complete them.
Okay, if you run a marathon and write a book in 2023, that is amazing.
I know.
More power to you. But we were talking about this, Michelle said the same thing. She sets goals that you can try and accomplish as opposed to these outlandish. So we were talking in the break that Greg Dutra he gave up fried food. And you think you went a long time, Michelle. We think you went a couple months, but we were like, no way.
Yeah.
Come on. You can't do it.
Well, I've
You
also
lasted,
heard
like, 4
stuff
months.
that you're supposed to like write it down in like your planner for like June or July to check in on your resolution, because by that point it's, you know, your mind is long gone from the whole New Year's resolution.
Did you say that last year you wanted to have less trash? What were you?
Oh, no. I said one of my goals for this year is to be less wasteful in all, you know, with my time, with, you know, money, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Just in general, be less wasteful. But that's the thing. I said it's not specific. I need to work on that a little.
You do give me, I drink bottled water sometimes, and you do give me a hard time that I'm using a lot of plastic.
But it's just wasteful in general, wasteful with your time, you know, scrolling in Twitter or whatever, rather than.
Most important for our job. You're not wasteful your time, you're busting your butt today.
I don't know, we'll see. But I did, one New Year's resolution that I always have that I've not met in years is I wanted to read a book a month.
Wow.
It's not hard. I should be able to do it.
It's great to read.
Yeah.
Man, I think I did one book this year.
I know,
Yeah.
but I've not met it.
So we have no goals or no
Apparently
resolutions.
we've got some self-reflection to do.
Right.
Here.
Well, good luck to you if you come up with some. When it's time for the big countdown of the new year, you want to make sure everything's perfect, right? That's why people did this confetti test today in Times Square. They practiced throwing this year's confetti to make sure 2023 gets off to a colorful start. It looks like it worked. That'd be fun to practice, I guess.
Yes, I'm not sure why that's necessary, but you want to make sure it's confetti. It's going to look good.
You got to get it all down with the Happy New Year.
Right.
And they tested the 2023, I think, a week ago, and one of the numbers didn't light up.
Okay.
Got to get that right.
All right.
Yeah. You don't have to be in New York for the big countdown. You can watch Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest right here on ABC.
Ryan was on GMA this morning talking about the big show and giving a preview.
It's production and physical.
Yeah.
So we're rehearsing all the acts. We're setting up all the stages and the tech. And I'm also on my diet, my cleanse, and my workout routine.
So the weather can be so unpredictable. What do you do to stay comfortable? Make sure you're not too hot, not too cold.
The worst, Janae, is the cold. Like when it's sub-zero in terms of wind chill, as you all know, it's very difficult to speak outside.
Yeah.
So it's the cold that bothers us the most. I love the rain. I think it makes it fun. The people who come out don't love the rain so much. So we might get a little rain, but the temperatures should be pretty mild. So we've got Wiz Khalifa, Dove Cameron, we've got Duran Duran, as I said, Jax, J-Hope, so many artists crammed into the 5 hours that I can't even remember them all.
New this year, Disneyland Sierra will host from Anaheim, California to celebrate 100 years of the Walt Disney Company, parent company of ABC7. When does Ryan Seacrest sleep?
He doesn't.
It's like the dude always looks great. Yeah, right? I mean, he's doing live with Ryan and Kelly here on ABC, and then he's doing this, and he's just everywhere. His radio show.
Right, and that's just not this week.
Yeah,
I
right?
think that's a normal week for him.
That's incredible. Talk about, you were saying, not wasting time.
Right, he does not waste time. I want to be like Ryan Seacrest in 2023. Saturday night, Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest starts at 7. You can see that right here on ABC7. That's followed by a special edition of Eyewitness News at 9. And after that, we head back to New York to watch the ball drop. Then Countdown Chicago starts at 11:25. Even more fun from around the country.
Countdown Chicago's going to be awesome, 11:25. Make sure you tune in.
And there were some incredible pop culture moments in 2022, from marriages to breakups and, of course, award shows.
We're looking back at the big things that happen each month. Our producer, Michelle, said there were a lot. So she's broken it down for us.
I bet she didn't miss one.
She did pretty well. So we're going to go through them coming up. 2 days left in the year.
I guess when you put it like that, gosh, I didn't think about it like that.
As 2022 comes to a close, we're reflecting on some of the biggest stories of the year.
Here's a recap of the top pop culture moments of 2022. Back in January, if you remember then, the New York Times bought the word game Wordle that had just skyrocketed in popularity.
In February, Tom Brady retired, or so he said, and he changed his mind in March.
Also in March, the Oscars, and likely the biggest pop culture of them all, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock during the ceremony on live TV.
That was March?
That was March.
A long time ago. In April, we had another award show, the Grammys. John Baptiste was the big winner that night. Go ahead. Yeah,
in May, Top Gun Maverick opened in theaters. It went on to become one of the biggest movies of the year, and it was the highest grossing debut in Tom Cruise's entire career.
You went and saw this at the theater?
No? We keep having this conversation. No, we both have to see it.
We both have to see it. Shame on us. In June, the wildly popular K-pop group BTS stunned fans by announcing the band would take a break to focus on members' solo projects. The guys also have mandatory military service they have to do. A few weeks ago, we had the story where one of them was reporting for duty. He's 31 years old.
I think a lot of fans would rather forget that moment.
Yeah, right?
Now to July, which was all about Bennifer 2.0. That was the first wedding between Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez in Vegas. They had a bigger ceremony in August. They had two weddings this year?
Yes, I totally forgot. They're married.
Oh, I remember they were married. I didn't know they had two weddings.
Can't wait to see what the end of 2023 has in store for that. We all saw a big breakup in August. That's when Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson announced they'd split up. That was really sad.
And in September, big news from the world of sports. Serena Williams played her final match of the U.S. Open. After upset wins the first two matches, the tournament was expected to be the last in her incredible career.
Stay tuned, though. She alluded to maybe not being done. In October, major fallout for Ye. The Chicago-born artist, formerly known as Kanye West, many companies severed ties with the rapper over some anti-Semitic comments.
In November, the month was all about Taylor Swift. Just weeks after her new album came out, we saw the Ticketmaster debacle that now has Congress investigating.
And this month, moviegoers flocked to theaters to see Avatar: The Way of Water, which has earned $1 billion in just over 2 weeks. Michelle, I think you did great. She had break down a lot of them. Those are all talkers. I remembered most of them.
Yeah. Bennifer.
Yeah, I didn't remember that one.
Bennifer. I guess I wouldn't have considered Tom Brady pop culture, but sure, yeah.
Oh, it was huge.
But I would definitely say the Will Smith slap.
Yeah.
Was the biggest moment.
And then Tom Brady's not having a good season, and then him and Giselle got divorced, and so Tom's got a rough go.
And Serena deserves.
That was huge. I remember in the news when we were all watching, and you could hear just the people had on their TVs around their desks. And she almost did it.
Yeah, that's one of those memorable moments that will last.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's time for our weather forecast. We've got about 8 minutes left in this broadcast. It's our last Thursday of the year together, ladies.
Oh,
right.
All right.
You look at it that way?
Wow.
No,
Rob's getting very sentimental
I'm digging
here.
deep. Right. We started this show almost a year ago. We'll celebrate our anniversary in January.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it seemed like a year or no, I don't know. Whoa, what does that say? -4 last Friday?
-1. We need those glasses clean.
New Year's resolution for you.
Just go to the eye doctor. I need to go to the hearing doctor, too.
Oh, what? We're going downhill.
I'm serious. Well, I'm almost 50, Cheryl. But you talked to me a lot in this year.
Yesterday, I was saying something to him, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, you didn't hear anything I just said.
I can't hear you. And so we wear earpieces. So I've got my earpiece here. And so does Judy, who I do the 4 with. So when we talk to each other, we don't. You can't.
It's like a 1,000-mile gaze, and he's just nodding. I knew none of it was registering.
This is sometimes a quiet talker too.
That Rob Elgis.
Right. Here's how Liz will talk though.
Right now, we know how to get him.
Stop. During weather, Liz will be like, Rob, I don't know if you're gonna go.
Maybe tomorrow, Rob, you can do. Are you here tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm here tomorrow. Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Maybe I can anchor like a tease, and you can do the weather.
Right.
Oh no.
Let's mix it up.
Mix it up.
No. Should I get rid of my glasses next year? What do you guys think?
I think so.
Obviously, I can't see with them. You think really?
Yeah, I would say
Let me
yes.
see them on.
Oh, see them on, but my face is crooked.
No, I like the glasses.
Yeah, I mean, I like because I can see, although I couldn't see the -1.
As well.
It's for when I look down. I can't see without them. They're the progressive lenses.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable and that you can see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But look at my face; it's crooked. Like, yeah, no, it is. It's crooked. I got like a nose that goes this way.
We all
And
have imperfect
thank you.
Faces.
That make me feel. You two don't. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we do. Do you see us without makeup on?
I've seen both of you without makeup. You still look pretty darn good.
Oh my God.
All right, -1 last Friday. See, I should take my glasses off to see far distances. It was cold.
And that is not like, that is a big one, and you thought it was a 4. Can you read what this says?
-30. -30 to -42.
There you go. Okay, perfect.
These monitors are
It's like
far
an eye
away.
chart.
I know, right? Y'all gonna quiz me, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So last Friday, I mean, guys, we woke up and it was feeling like it was 30 to 42 degrees below zero. And today we had a high of 60. So in the matter of a week, really less than a week, our temperatures outside feel like they're 90 degrees warmer than this point, our lowest point this month. And today was our warmest day this month, the warmest day since November 23rd. The average high 33 degrees, well above that. Feeling good outside. It is a little bit windy. As we go overnight, these temps will start to drop. You can see that mild air mass in place right now, back up to the north and west, turning cooler with this front that's going to be moving through. You can see some showers getting going, and this will continue to feed some moisture into our area out ahead of the front and spark off some scattered showers as we go into the late night. We are dry right now, but as we take a look at futurecast, temps holding steady in the 50s until the early morning hours. Close to about 2-3 a.m., a band of rain sets up along close to the city, then off to the south and west. Will Kankakee, I-57, I-65, and then this will continue to move to the east, northwest Indiana, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. Some showers, and then we'll see another little feed of moisture here. So areas well off to the south and east, and Rensselaer, northwest Indiana, continue with some rain showers into the early afternoon. Mainly dry here across northern Illinois. Maybe some peaks of sunshine late afternoon, but mostly cloudy skies for our Friday. But temperatures will be dropping by this time tomorrow. It will be closer to about 32 degrees. So it's going to feel 30 degrees colder, but we're dropping back to near average for this time of the year. Into Saturday, our temps go back up above average, 30s and 40s, and we're dry until late night. Most of you will be indoors celebrating, kicking off the new year, New Year's Eve festivities. You'll be inside because you'll be tuned in to ABC7 Chicago. Of course, some passing showers here in the mix very late after about 10 o'clock until about 1, 2 in the morning. This will be a quick hitting system. Not everyone's going to see the rain. Short-lived. And then as we go into Sunday, some sunshine early on, but then the clouds will build back in. So for your New Year's Eve plans, temps in the 30s, some showers late between about 7 and 1 a.m., some passing scattered showers, and we'll see those temperatures drop tomorrow. But by Saturday and Sunday, highs back into the 40s, cloudy skies on Sunday, and we're pretty quiet until we get into early next week when the next system moves in, and that's going to bring us some heavy rain. For tonight, temperatures dropping overnight. We wake up in the 40s. Keep in mind tomorrow, temperatures in the afternoon will be in the 30s, 40s through the weekend, and then next week, we're looking at some heavy rain and thunder late Monday into Tuesday. We'll be right back.
American Girl has unveiled its 2023 Girl of the Year. Meet Kavika Sharma, or Kavi for short. She's a spunky, Broadway-loving dancer and singer and the line's first ever South Asian character. Kavi loves to see Broadway shows, and she lives in New Jersey with her family, just a short train ride away.
It's a great way to end this hour.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. For Cheryl Scott, I'm Liz Nagy.
I'm Rob Elgus. We're back at 10.